sisters. I want to say thank you to all the Muslim brothers. And I want to say thank you to all the Muslim spies in attendance today. I shouldn't even call them Muslim spies. I call them the Haram place. I always show the Muslims are having fun, give their face. I can say something right now, the Haram police will run out there in the parking lot, get on the phone, call Haram police headquarters, ring, ring. So, hey, everybody, what's going on? Put your arms on this now, make it Muslim Saturday. Then they get in the Haram police cars, they start running through the streets, it's loud, you can hear them 2 blocks away, because the sirens sound like this. They start chasing me. They start shooting their guns. The guns sound like this. Bitter, 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 bitter.
Assalamu alaikum, brother preacher Moss. How are you?
Alhamdulillah wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Tell us, what brings you here in the UK?
I am part of a 10-city tour with Islamic Help, and the cause is helping Syrian mothers and babies. So this is day 10 of the tour. So this is the coup de grace, and we're hoping we can raise some money and inspire people to give, but also inspire people to have fun in the process of giving.
For my old school guys, I wrote a song. I wrote a song, a love song for my wife. Like, hear the title of it? I wrote a song for my wife. It's a love song. It's called "Come Stand in Front of the Television When Football's On."
Before we touch upon your famous tours, Allah Made Me Funny, I wanted to focus on what you did before. So, you have a degree in journalism. You wrote for comedians with the likes of George Lopez, Damien Wayans.
Yeah.
You've toured with Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
What made you leave all that and focus on projects like Allah Made Me Funny and what you're doing today?
I don't know if I left. I mean, I can't really say I left. I just had a change of focus. Because that's always going to be there, to write in Hollywood, to write for other comedians. That's always going to be there, but this was a unique opportunity to help or to contribute to the Muslim community at a time I felt like they needed most, and that was following 9/11. So, and you know, we're still having fun, so it's not like I just quit stand-up, you know what I mean? It's like we're going to do it a different way, and we're going to keep it halal and keep it moving.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. You're also in the world of teaching. You were a college lecturer, a school teacher for 11 years, where you were working with disturbed children. You've counselled the youth. What haven't you done?
Haven't grown taller. I've been working on that, but you know, that haven't worked out. So I have to, you know, I think my last foray is going to be the idea of TV production, movies, things like that. I'm working on some partnerships right now where people will be able to see a lot more of Preacher Moss as a comedian, as a content guy, as a producer. Actually beginning to develop young comedic talent. So that's coming down the way. But I'm going to probably be the first one out of the box. It's really trying to take the whole idea of Muslim comedy to a whole nother. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make, inshallah, make some Muslims happy. Make them proud.
MashaAllah. Tell us about your college tour.
My college tour is called End of Racism Comedy and Lecture Tour. It's still ongoing. It started in '95. Still going. So we got 20 years, and the 20 years actually this year. Again, talking about issues of race, diversity, and religion. So that was actually the thing I did before Allah Made Me Funny. So that gave me the framework to do Allah Made Me Funny. Alhamdulillah, praise to Allah.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. So tell us about Allah Made Me Funny and how that project came about.
It started out with just me, and I revamped it and said, this needs to be a community project. Not just me, but I reached out to Azim Muhammad, who was a pretty tested road comic at the time, and I reached out to Azhar Usman, who was just beginning stand-up at the time, because I needed guys who were going to tie into the idea of the tour that we were trying to, some people say challenge stereotypes. We were trying to present positive images of Muslims and not worried about getting validated by people. It's a thing about images. If you can get to the marketplace first with your image, then that's what people remember, and that's what we did with Allah Made Me Funny.
Is there going to be another tour of Allah Made Me Funny?
You have to tune in. I'm not a betting man, but I would say definitely yes. In a big way, in a very big way. And it's going to be in this year, inshallah. So you got the exclusive. There you go.
We're really excited about that. Thank you so much for sharing the exclusive news for us. You've also been on huge American and UK channels with the likes of VH1, CBS, BBC Radio, BBC Breakfast TV. The list goes on. How did that come about, and what are the main themes of the messages that you sent across to them?
Controlling the image was what it. How did that come about? We were probably, in terms of entertainment, we were probably the first Muslim entertainment group to use PR. Like, not free PR, but we hired PR people to make sure that the messaging was straight, what we wanted to do. We got them out, we told them what we wanted to say, and that was what was cultivated in the media. And so when people would read it, it had a very unified message. You know what I mean? It was like, we weren't out, hey, we're blowing ourselves up. It was none of that. And we were very serious, but we were very focused. I look back and I was like, we had an extremely focused group coming out of 2004, particularly at that time, because the idea of Muslim image was all over the place. And and we hired Jewish guys. Because I'm smart like that. All right, I'm sorry. But in the UK, I got to give a holler to my main man. He's a PR person extraordinary. His name is Pedro Caballo from Ethnic PR. He's a beast. He is an absolute beast. And lovable. P, I love you, man. You my dog.
Thank you so much for that, and a great shout out to Pedro too. How do you manage to do this and balance family time?
Just, you know what? It's not that hard. You got to want to. I think that's the thing. Any relationship, whether it's business, family, personal, marriage, whatever, you have to balance it out, and you've got to want to make it work. So when you wake up in the morning, you don't have that effort. You need to go back, splash some water on your face, and say, I'm going to try this thing again. But that's what it is, And you have to be very, very aware of what's important, what's valuable. What are your core values? Is a big thing I tell young comedians and young artists. It's like, what are your core values before you get into this thing? Because if you haven't discovered them or you haven't claimed them, then the dunya is not the place to want to figure them out. So, that's always been, and that's coming from my mentors. Guys that are 65, 70 years old that watch me grow up, that held me in check. And, hey, Preet, get over here, get over here, young man. And they've been really instrumental in me being able to facilitate that in my own life and help other young artists. Some of them go in the mainstream, and it's like, listen, before you get there, Dave Chappelle has a great analogy about his father telling him, before you go to Hollywood, know your value. Know your value. And I tell young brothers, know your value. And your family, your religion, your marriage, your brothers, your sisters, know your value. Because in Hollywood, and not just Hollywood, but in the world, in a lot of places, people, they want to tell you what your value is. So,
you worked with Omar Regan on American Sharia.
Man,
how was that?
It was good, man. I mean, I'm happy for Omar. It's always great to see artists go out and pursue their dreams. He's an actor. He wanted to direct. He wanted to be in a film that had a specific message, and I really enjoyed it. It was a great experience. I've been on TV sets before and a few movie sets, but it was good being on a Muslim film soundstage. It wasn't a soundstage, but a TV set, and it was a lot. A lot of interesting things happened, a lot of learning curve, but in the end, alhamdulillah, he got his movie out, and we're looking for big things to come from him in the years forward. So. He's another bad man.
How do you think your work has changed the views of Muslims?
I guess the thing was I've always had the same views, but you can see where your work inspires. And I always say you can see where your work inspires other people because they'll turn around and inspire you. And I really feel confident about that. I mean, All That Made Me Funny has been out. Man, we're going into 11 years now, and now you have guys, guys who are 15 now they're 25. They bring their families back, and the maturation of how people see comedy. Like Muslims come, they might see Preacher Moss and it's preaching. They're expecting a good show. It's not like, oh, alhamdulillah, he's breathing, alhamdulillah. You better bring it. I have grandmothers who are like, you didn't tell my favorite joke, and they're aggressive and they mean it. They become comedy connoisseurs, but that says that they love themselves a lot more, and they're not taking themselves as serious. They take themselves seriously, but it's not a level of ridiculousness, and I think that's fun. It's like, and it's beautiful because you can mesh. That's true comedy. You can go out in a crowd, you don't know anybody, maybe nobody looks like you, maybe nobody's from where you are, but laughter is universal. It's a rhythm, it's a tone, and alhamdulillah, I've got to be more of a jazz musician over my last couple of years, because before you're like teaching. It's like, yo, you need to learn this and that and this, and now it's like you're back to your own spot where I don't have to manage or micromanage a lot of stuff. Now it's just, I'm back to being an artist, and that's the best thing.
That's a great blessing. How can viewers reach you, and any final messages for them?
You go to, Facebook, or you go to All That Made Me Funny website, or you can make dua. There you go. That's how you can reach me. I think I still have Twitter. I don't know. I'm 48 years old. I don't even need a Twitter account. They should shut it down. I'm too old for Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram and Vine and put all this stuff. This is dumb and dumber. Talk to somebody. Put it on your phone and go talk to somebody. Hey, how are you? People sitting next to each other texting one another. It's ridiculous. Married couples. I'm very upset at you. I'm very upset at you too. Why don't you put it on the phone and talk? But that's my rant. I'm sorry. You love social media, don't you? No, I don't. I know I'm supposed to be using it, but no, I really don't. I'm an old school guy. I remember when phones were hardwired into the side of the wall, and you needed yellow pages, a phone directory, and I remember beepers. Anybody remember beepers? You ever go walking with a young kid? You remember when the phone was attached to the wall? When was that? Oh my God! Is that true? Say it's not so. Yeah. I shouldn't joke, but it is. I mean, I'm turning to an old black man quickly. That's what it is. Some people say stuff to me. I'm like, shut up. I don't want to hear about your life. People give you a big long story. This happened. Shut up. In the end, what happened? You got the job. You got robbed. I don't have time. I don't need the lead up. I just need the results. There you go.
Thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you in the UK again. When are you coming next?
When the spirit moves me, but inshallah, it'll definitely be at least one time by the end of the year. I'm going to be tied up on some projects back in the States, but we'll be doing it. We'll be back, and we're bringing All That Made Me Funny back, and it's the best in the business. That is the absolute best in the business, Muslim comedians. And we're going to be introducing a special guest to a young comedian to come up. And he's a bad boy too.